Just one day after the Department of Justice launched an investigation against the Chicago Police Department looking into civil rights violation, one of the top commanders, Glenn Evans, is standing trial right now for allegedly sticking a gun down a subject's throat, putting a taser to his balls, and threatening to kill him, Nick. He's facing trial. He's one of the top commanders, very well liked in the force. And this is the story of Rickey Williams. Rickey Williams was selling weed at a corner with a bunch of people. When the cops came, they ran. He hid on a house. These cops follows him, and that's when the whole thing went down. He claims that he was bleeding out of the mouth. He spit blood after the incident. Ultimately, he was not charged with any crimes. He was let go, and now they're facing crime. Again, we see that the police department, this incident happened back in 2013. So the department, the corruption within the department is so strong that they are able to keep these cases on their wraps until they blow up. And now the trial is beginning, and we know that this guy has been before implicated in many cases of police brutality without ever going to an investigation. Now he's facing the law.
You know, when cities like Ferguson, for example, were under the spotlight, we saw a lot of new allegations coming out, emails where racial slurs were being used that really shed light on how not only corrupt, but how racist they really were in Ferguson. Now, Chicago's a bit of a different story here. Yeah. We're seeing levels of corruption that, I mean, that stuff transcends race. I mean, this officer just...
There was black on black violence.
Was black, but I think the corruption that's going on in Chicago transcends racial tension in the city. I mean, we're seeing high-level corruption, and then the police officer being used as foot soldiers out there, taking people to these undisclosed locations, interrogating, in this case, putting a gun in their mouth and tasering the groin. I mean, get out of here. This is something that you'd see in a movie. I didn't know it existed in real life here in the U.S.
Not only that, if you see the number of cases that are coming forward, now we have another case, Ronald Johnson III. He was killed by a shooting, and now prosecutors are saying we're not going to prosecute the cops. We can see on the videos that they really were at fault, so we decided not to prosecute. That's one case. Today, along with this trial, along with the Department of Justice investigation, we have the release of a video by the city, a CCTV video, where they show another subject in a detaining center being tasered till he was unconscious, then being dragged by one arm, lifeless body through a hallway, then taken to a hospital and died few hours later. Accordingly, because of a bad reaction to an antipsychotic medication, there was no investigation, it was ruled as an accident, and now they're putting this video out there, I think in a preventive measure, because now they know the level of investigation that the Department of Justice is doing and that the truth is going to come out, and many will be revealed as the corrupt policemen that they are.
I think, and that's what I was getting at the Ferguson thing. I mean, this is just one case that's kind of come out of all this talk over the Laquan McDonald incident, the young man that was shot last year 16 times, the whole cover-up that went along with it, exposing all the corruption. I just can't help but wonder, you know, is Mayor Rahm Emanuel going to come out of this unscathed?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this is something that, to begin with Laquan, it's clear now that he tried to hide this situation till after the election, and I think that's wrong. I think that sends a wrong message, specifically as a Democrat from a party that represents the vast majority of black Americans in this country. So if you have these politicians at the front of a city, and on top of that, they are able to benefit from the ingrained racism in the police force, I think this is something that calls for his resignation.
Oh, without a doubt. And I think, you know, what it's going to take is the people to come out in the streets and call for something like that.
Now we know that Glenn Evans, one of the top commanders of the Chicago Police Department, is facing trial for abusing his power and sticking a gun down the throat of a subject, tasing him in the balls, and threatening to kill him in the light of the events that are happening in Chicago that is showing that this police department most likely has been committing acts of racism and systematic abuse for years.